Blog Talk Radio.
Sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
And liftoff on another Saturday. Welcome everyone to Tarot Today Radio. I am your host, Dax Carlisle, tarot advisor, numerologist, and hypnotherapist, coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. We are a live call-in show, so give us a ring at 714-816-4628. We would love to chat with you. You can also join us in the chat room. Speaking of chat, thetarotguild.com/chat. Today's show is sponsored by the Tarot Guild, the international organization for tarot lovers, students, and professional readers since 2004. Stop by and visit us at thetarotguild.com. And on Facebook, we have a 6,300-member Facebook group. Come join in the conversation, thetarotguild.com/Facebook. Joining me, as always, is my fabulous co-host. She is a certified tarot master, crystal Reiki master, and vice president for certification for the Tarot Guild. And here she is live from Amarillo, Texas, the fabulous Mary Brown. Hey, Mary.
Hey, Dex. Hey, everybody. Happy Psychic Saturday on the Tarot Today show.
Happy Psychic Saturday. You know, it's only taken a couple of months. You're finally coming around to not freaking out every time you say Psychic Saturday.
I know. I just love saying it. So, how are you doing? Are you still in the middle of this heat wave, this crazy heat wave? I am.
Oh, yes. I'm in the office today because I did the show yesterday out on the patio, but it reached about 110 by the end of the show. So I went out on the patio today, had my coffee and everything like that, you know, and got ready for the show and did the promos. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going inside in the air conditioning. It is too hot out here. So I heard you're in the triple digits in Amarillo.
Yeah, today is supposed to be our last day of triple digits after like a good solid week and some change of it. And tomorrow we're going to dip down to like a cool 95. Woo.
Oh, my God, it's a cold wave. You're going to get hit by a cold wave.
I'll get my sweater out.
Yes. Well, you know, it's really weird. If it's not raining in the main part of Tucson, it's raining here. If it's, 95 degrees or 100 degrees in the main part of Tucson, it's 110 to 115 out here. And so we're supposed to go to 104 tomorrow, 102 on Monday, 101 on Tuesday, and then we dip down to a freezing 97 degrees on Wednesday and 92 with thunderstorms on Thursday.
Wow.
That's the only nice thing. You know, that's the only thing, I swear, you know, besides AC, of course, the only thing that saves us in the summertime here is that, especially the hottest months, you know, July and August, are also our monsoon season, and that means irregular weather patterns with, incredible thunderstorms and rain that just come out of nowhere. And we love it. We want the thunderstorms, you know, because it cools it down instantly from like 110 down to maybe like 85, 90, you know. It's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, boy. So we got a bunch of people on the caller lines, but only one person has their hand raised. So I want to repeat for everybody. I think I forgot to mention it in the beginning of the show, that when you dial in, press 1 on your dial pad. What that does is it puts you into the caller queue. That way we know you want to be live on air with us. So give us a ring, 714-816-4628, and press 1 on your dial pad. 714-816-4628, and press 1. You can also join us in the chat room on the Tarot Guild website. Oh, Charlotte's in there. I just noticed that. Hi, Charlotte. It's thetarotguild.com. Yeah, it's thetarotguild.com/chat, and you can ask questions in there. You can make commentary. If it's really cool or funny, we'll mention it on air. Or you can ask for a mini reading right there in the chat room as well, thetarotguild.com/chat. All righty, so I just wanted to give that information out there. And we got a topic for today, too, in addition to open lines.
Yes, we do.
Is tarot ruining
excited.
your life?
Yeah. Is it ruining your life? Call us right now.
Call us right now. It's Mary. It's a tarot intervention.
Yes.
We're doing tarot interventions today on the show.
A tarotvention.
There are many ways that tarot can be ruining your life, folks, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be helping you, but it could be ruining your life. Now, if you haven't already figured this out, some of these things are tongue-in-cheek, okay? Our last show last week, the question that we're most often asked about tarot is, for me, it's, do you believe in that stuff? And today's show, is tarot ruining your life? It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but there is some actual real information we're going to, talk about here, because some people get obsessed. Like Mary Brown.
Yeah, like me.
Collecting decks,
Yes.
So, Mary, so there you go. That's number one. How tarot can be ruining your life is you're so obsessed that you buy every deck out there. Your husband or wife is, freaking out because the bank account's going down because you're buying every deck there is. If you're a deck collector and you let's do an intervention right now, Mary. Okay, this is what you need to do. You need to create a budget for your tarot decks, folks,
That's so hard. Create a budget. Let's see, budget. Let's see. Well, if I make, let's see, if a person makes, like, say, $100,000 a year, then $100,000 a year, then it seems to me a proper tarot budget would be probably $50,000. Is that right? Does that sound right to people? That seems reasonable to me? Anybody?
I knew you were going to say that. I just knew it. I knew you were going there. $50,000. Oh. There is a secret way, though, and you know about this, is what you do is start – you already have this huge collection and you're filling it up. Okay, go back to tarot deck number 1 and go through all of your decks you have now, all 50 of them. 500? Okay, all 500. Go through them and write a review on every single one of them and put it on a blog.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you start contacting all of the publishers and you tell them, visit my blog here and you'll see, I've got 150 reviews on there, and they'll start sending you free review decks for you to review. And then you don't have to spend the money and, be eating peanut butter jelly all year long.
Sort of, because I was doing that for a while. I wasn't so much. I do reviews, but I do them more on YouTube, on my Pterodactyl YouTube channel. But what I decided is all the decks that I don't use, because what happens is there's a lot of decks that go out of print, and when they do that, generally what I do is I set them aside and I don't work with them because I don't want to degrade them anymore because they go out of print and they were worth more money, and I'm like, I don't want to use a $200 deck for a reading, But I've started doing like walkthroughs of those decks that are out of print, so I'm still using them, kind of, right? Some of that,
but gently.
even when I was getting free decks from U.S. Games was sending me decks for review and consideration for, do we want to have the author on, I was still buying decks, because sometimes what happens, it gets worse. Somebody, a publisher sends you deck, and then you discover a new artist, or you discover a new deck creator, and you're like, oh, what else did they make? I've got to get those decks. So that can backfire potentially. But I think, it helps if you really pay attention to like the decks that you are using the most, like, and then kind of, like for me, I've got to kind of decide like, what's the difference between a need and a want, right? And I admit I have a lot of decks that were wants, that once I got them, I'm like, wow, I don't really think I can use this, Like I think of the...
But the thing is, if you're a reviewer, other people might, though. So you review it anyway, even if you're not, attracted to the artwork or whatever. And that's another thing about if you're reviewing out-of-print decks, which, it's a nice topic, but, most commercial reviewers should be reviewing decks that people can actually go out and buy, because that's the whole idea. You're reviewing it so other people know what to get or what not to get, as opposed to just for the fun of it going, oh, here's this cool deck. It came out in, 2004, and you can't buy it anymore, but I'm going to tell you all about it.
Well, that's part of it, but then also I think of this, I think like, wow, there's some decks that like nobody ever, like they're not on YouTube. Nobody ever mentioned this deck, and it just makes me sad,
right.
And I feel like you should know it existed. You should, because what happens is like, this, we've talked about this a lot, how sometimes like there's nothing new under the sun, and so you have somebody that's like, oh, there should be a deck that does this. And chances are there may have already been. It's just not available anymore. So you don't know it ever even existed. So I feel like, in a sense, I'm like being a tarot deck, conservator, by doing that.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine.
I'm finding lots of reasons to justify having a lot of decks. Is what's going on here. Well, how about you, tarot?
Let me say something about this, though, because all the things you just said, I'm getting ideas on, and one is that you mentioned that you do this on YouTube. So on your page you can have a category out of print decks, and that way somebody comes and it's like, oh yeah, I just want to explore. I'm going to watch the videos on some of the videos on out of print decks, or if they hit your page and they go, okay, I want to find the right deck for me that I can buy right now. They can look at the reviews of decks that are, available. Yeah. By the way, in the chat room, Charlotte says, ha ha ha, a tarot influencer. She said that right after you mentioned you could do it on YouTube.
No, but it is kind of, I don't know, it's fun to me. I mean, I love art anyways, and so to me I feel like this is like collecting decks is kind of my version of being an art collector. Like I can't afford a Picasso, okay? I can't, but I'm not a Arab print, but so much of the artwork in them is just beautiful, fascinating, intriguing, thought-provoking.
Oh, absolutely.
So is there any danger of tarot ruining your life? What happens to you? Deck collecting's definitely the danger for me.
Yeah, and I'm like the opposite. I'm the one that wants to find the perfect deck that speaks to me. I'm going to use that deck. I'm not going to use anything else. I'm going to buy 15 copies of the same deck, so if I ruin one, I just pull out a new copy. And not 99.9% of the time, I'm just using universal weight that you can get online for $5, because I'm doing readings via the internet. Now, if I do an in-person reading, I pull out a prettier deck, and it's typically a Ciro Marchetti deck because, I'm into graphic art and into, high tech and all that kind of thing. And that's his style, and I just love his stuff. I'm not a big art person. And so I never fell into that category, and I never started like collecting decks. Now, people have sent me decks, and I love it. If you want to send me your deck that you just got printed, and I'll look it all over. I'll do a review. I'll check the quality of the card stock and look at the images and the feel in my hands and write a nice review. But that's the only way that I got other decks, was people actually sent them to me. As far as buying decks, I buy universal weight, and I buy Ciro Marchetti's decks, and that's it. But I have a lot of other decks here. Like, for instance, I'm holding in my hand right now the Llewellyn deck. So Llewellyn's a publisher. They actually have the Llewellyn deck, which
Llewellyn. That's a great
Llewellyn.
deck.
Right. I wanted to explain to people, Llewellyn is Welsh, and part of my family is from Wales, the Perrys, and it's based on, and by the way, I know we're going on a tangent and we're getting off, how is tarot going to ruin your life, but we'll get back to that, and then we'll be taking phone calls, folks. Don't worry, hang in there, we're coming. Okay, but what I love about this deck, first of all, on the back, it has a nice design and a red dragon. And, I was born in the year of the dragon. And this is a Welsh dragon, folks, that's on the back here. And then this deck is the only deck I've ever seen or had or held in my hand for sure that is, I don't want to say nearly square, but it's wider. It's like, it's almost like it's a masculine deck, I mean, this would be hard for the average person, especially with smaller hands, to hold, especially women, some women anyway. And that's the complaint, you get all the time. It's like, well, I can't shuffle the deck. I can't hold it, kind of thing. And they tend to gravitate towards smaller decks. I like big. Yeah. I like people to be able to see it. And it uses Welsh mythology in the images, and it'll have the traditional name like Judgment, but then at the top it'll say the Sleepers, or Taliesin, or I'm trying to go through the deck here. See, Arwan, Arawan. I can never say his name. The Death card, and it did come with the book, and you can read up on the mythology, who all these characters are and how they relate to, the actual. It's just the majors though, and it's done in watercolor, very very attractive, very pretty. It's great for doing live readings with people, So I always have this deck in my backpack. It comes with a gossamer kind of golden bag, and I carry this and my Ciro Marchetti deck and my universal weight. I carry those three around with me. I just absolutely love it. Now, this one I got on purpose. It wasn't sent to me because I saw it, and I'm part Welsh, and I was like, okay, that's fascinating, So I got this deck, and it turned out to be fantastic because like no other deck out there. It's wider. It's got the watercolor, and just really, really, really nice, But in general, I've been waiting for 30 years for them to come out with. They've tried many, many times to do this, and there's some great decks out there because of it. But all I want is universal weight modernized. That's all. I want the original images the original symbolism, because that's what I use in my readings. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, I knew I was forgetting something. When you know, you got with the Llewellyn deck, you've got the Llewellyn mythology characters and stuff like that. I don't use any of that in the reading. You know, I'm using the deck because it's pretty, and I lay it out. And what's happening is, as I'm doing the reading with the client, I'm translating it into universal weight, into Waite Smith, into the RWS imagery and symbolism that may or may not even appear on the card. It doesn't matter, because that's the language that I've developed for doing tarot. You know? And so I think that's partly because I'm so into that specific symbolism, and I teach from the Waite Smith deck. Mary, I think that's why I never really could get into deck collecting, because of the fact that you know, I want that symbolism. And so why would I buy a deck that has all these fairies on it when it doesn't relate to how I read, you see? So so that's not going to affect me at all. One way how tarot can ruin your life, that it's not a problem now, but in the past, is I would do a reading on something in my personal life for myself, and then I would pull the deck out the next day and I would do it again. You know, and you know, I'd ask the question like 50 times.
Bro, yeah, that is, to me, that's the number one way tarot can ruin your life. Not just for tarot readers, but also for tarot clients, people that want readings. And, you know, that's how people get into psychic hopping, too, where it's like, oh, I didn't like that answer. Maybe somebody else will pull cards I do like, and then I'll go. That's where I feel like, okay, now we're really talking about, you know, understanding the essence of divination. You cannot trick the universe. You cannot trick God. If you associate it as a spiritual thing, if you think the divine aspect of divination, it's like, no, that's opening the door to saying, like, okay, go ahead and screw with me because I'm trying to break the rules. That's what I think. And that's where I feel like, yeah, it can ruin your life, because the universe will start screwing with you when it realizes you're trying to play games with it, when you're trying to trick it, when you've already done divination and you're like, nah, I don't really like the divine's answer to this, so I'm going to see if I can get a better answer. It's like, no, that's what mythology all over the world is made up of, right? Of us trying to get over on, you know, forces greater than ourselves. So I think it's, and that's also where I think where it can become tarot addiction, tarot obsession. It's like, I'm going to keep doing this till I hear what I want to hear. You know, very dangerous.
Yes, that's the main thing that I was thinking of originally, and then I started to think, oh wait, there's a lot more ways that tarot can ruin your life, you know, including your, you know, ruining your bank account. Yeah, I thought of Mary right away. Yeah, I thought of you right away, Mary. You know.
Yes,
so let me just say. What were we gonna say?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. No.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to make something that goes along with this, a remark on the Tarot Guild group on Facebook. Actually, you had posted, you know, it's like Will Smith with one of his classic looks, you know, and how your spirit guides look at you when you pull out your tarot deck for the 50th time with the same question. You know, it was so perfect. I love that. I cracked up when I saw that one. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick.
I do think it's really, I think that's the biggest risk ever, because, you know, it's not. Wait.
I might have a challenge to it. Okay, weigh the asking the deck 50 times against this. You wake up in the morning and, okay, how can I make this sound absolutely outrageous? Okay, I'm going to make it sound absolutely outrageous. You've got more than one flavor of toothpaste bottles in your cabinet, in your medicine cabinet. You walk into the bathroom, you pull out your tarot deck. Which toothpaste should I brush my teeth with today? Let's ask the tarot.
Yeah.
Okay. Running your entire life by tarot is also a danger.
That's probably the biggest danger, right? Asking on everything, because I think about that a lot, and the other thing is too, that's part of why I don't believe that there ever is any such thing as a tarot emergency, or unless you spill something on your cards. Like, I don't think you ever need a reading in an emergency. I never feel like it's a sense of urgency, because it's like, look, first of all, you don't want to be delving into divination when you're so panicked and anxious anyways. That's going to make everything go haywire, because you're an important ingredient in the reading, right? And the other thing too is that's not ever, I don't think ever throughout the history, how many hundreds of years of history since the 1400s of tarot, that was never the point to run your life by it and to make every decision based on it. It's you've got to live.
I'm thinking a couple of things here. One is it also, what we just said, aligns with not just us with a tarot deck, but folks that go to tarot readers or psychics, and they use them not for advice, not for information to inform a empowered decision. Instead, it's like every little thing, and I don't mean little things like what do I have for lunch, but even the big things, which is what you should be using tarot for, is the big life questions. But don't go to tarot readers and psychics and have them make the decision for you. Just use that to get information, and then you make an informed decision. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a big danger.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's a big difference, because people want to give their power away and say well, the tarot made me do it, or a psychic I went to told me I should sell everything and move to the desert, and I did it, and now I'm stuck in the desert.
Well,
it's their fault.
Well, you know what? What you just said there, a psychic told me to, sell everything and move to the desert. That's that other problem where they go to a psychic, and it's typically not a tarot reader. I don't know why. Tarot readers are just better. I'm just going to say it out loud. But they go to a psychic, and they tell them, sell everything you own, move out to the desert, but by the way, give me $10,000 because I'm going to take off this curse from you, kind of thing. And that's the other danger as well. And we have proof. We know this is a real danger, because every few months, or it's not super frequently, maybe every 6 months or at least once a year, I hear a case where man gets or psychic gets arrested because she bilked $100,000 out of somebody. I mean, how can you be that dumb? But this is obviously a real danger for some people. That they will do everything that their psychic tells them.
Dude,
they're totally disempowering themselves, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, when you mention cases like that, I think it was romance. Right, this woman who wrote historical romances, Jude Devereaux, is one of those people, and it was a situation, I think, where she lost her son or something, and so she was paying like a medium to her son, and it was just like and then it can get into the whole curse thing. It's like, come on, it's like people have to they have to be responsible for themselves and their own decisions. You never want to give that away to anybody else. And I think that the danger for tarot readers is that you can easily encounter people that want that. They want you to tell them what to do, and you have to remember that's not what your job is as a tarot reader. It's not to run other people's lives. It's not to tell them what to do. It's just to read the cards. Say, like, look, here's what's on the path, and you can make choices about it.
Yeah, you know, I always talk about things like, you know, being on a trajectory that's taking you this direction. Do you really want to go there, kind of thing? But then you got the psychic, like Sylvia Brown was. You know, it's like, oh no, your daughter is dead in a ditch, face down in water, and then you know she's alive. You know, 5 months later, it's like they find her and she's perfectly fine. You know, and that's the difference.
Back to life, obviously. Hello.
Hello. Absolutely, yeah. Well, and that's the thing is you don't want to go to a psychic or a tarot reader that talks that way. As soon as they start talking that way, this is going to happen. You must do this.
Yeah. Red flag.
Right away, they're red flag. They're trying to control your life. They don't have your best interests at heart, where they're trying to empower you with information and informing you that, you know, this is not written in stone. We have free will. You can make decisions and go in a different direction.
Yeah. And, you know, one last thing I want to say on this whole, you know, big ball of wax here, you know, on this aspect of how it can ruin your life is that if you are someone who's getting reading after reading after reading on the same subject, and then you start finding out that, you know, life goes a different way than the readings you've been getting, there's the opportunity. There's the opportunity from the universe saying, okay, why don't you sit in the driver's seat? Why don't you realize that you don't need someone else to run your life? That this is your opportunity right then and there, not to blame someone else, but to say, like, okay, I made these choices out of, you know, my mindset, my perspective, and maybe I need to examine that. It's a chance to look in the mirror. And, you know, there's empowerment when we do that, always, when there's self-reflection. So I think that sometimes, you know, there is a benefit, you know, kind of hidden inside of things. You know, there's always an opportunity to change, always an opportunity for growth.
That's perfect. I think we'll just leave the topic there, especially because it's the bottom of the hour. And there's people starting to call in. Yeah. And so, Mary, I've got this to say. Okay, everybody listening out there, so if you want to ruin your life and have Mary and I tell you what to do, give us a ring at 714-816-4628. Remember to press 1 on your dial pad as soon as you get through. We are ready and willing to tell you what to do at 714-816-4628.
I love that. Well, hey, before we get close, do you want to take a look at what's coming up on the network?
Yep, I got that all planned out, and the card of the day and the numerology of the day. So what's coming up on the network, you know, you can always check this out, folks. All you got to do is go to our website for the radio network, psychictalk.net. And if you do psychictalk.net, put a /upcoming, you're going to see all the shows coming up between now and, gosh, I have it listed out to Sunday, August 9th. You know, so it's all right there at psychictalk.net /upcoming. And our next show is Monday, July 20th, Wisdom of the Soul with licensed psychotherapist Janice Fuchs. So tune in for that great show. And then on Wednesday, it is the Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance Hour with host Catherine Hahn. And she's doing part 3 of her July series of episodes on the true and authentic you. Love that. And it dovetailed really nicely because Dr. Rose and I didn't even think about this, but not our show yesterday, but the previous Friday, we did a show on connecting with your true self. And I was like, oh wow, look the synchronicities. We didn't even think of that Catherine's
cool.
doing a whole series. Yeah. And then I'll be back on Friday, July 24th with Dr. Rose, and we're doing a series of shows on shamanic journeying. The first one was yesterday, so go to the archive, go check that out. And we did the middle world, which is right here, and now we're going to do the lower world next week. And then Saturday, July 25th, it's the last Saturday of the month, so you know what that means, the Psychic Spin. Mary and I will be back. We got another, well, you know, the topic's not tongue-in-cheek, but we could really do some fun tongue-in-cheek things with this. So, you know, we've been trying to do that all July here as we're in the, you know, the hell of the heat and the coronavirus still and the spikes and everything like that. You know, let's laugh a little bit.
Have some fun. Yes.
Yes. You know, as always on Tarot Today Radio, July 25th, next week, we will be doing open lines and tarot mini readings. But the last Saturday of the month, we do this Psychic Spin segment. If you're new to the show, it's where we look at something in the news, current events, something that's on everybody's mind, and we pull tarot cards on it. You know, that's what we have over, say, the talking heads out there on the TV shows talking about topics. We can actually pull tarot cards on it and ask questions. So this Psychic Spin coming up on the 25th is going to be, will the future world be robotic? Mary came up with this, and I was like floored. I was like, oh, that's a fun topic. Will the future world be robotic? And of course, we know it's going that way. We got, you know, autonomous, you know, self-driving vehicles. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on that, you know, Elon Musk and, you know, Tesla and all the other ones out there. And, of course, you know, for decades and decades, we've had industrial robots building the cars and building other things and stuff. But then AI is coming in now. And, you know, things are going to start being a little different, you know. So, for instance, you know, you may have an AI robot companion. And of course, you know, they have the sex robots coming out. They do have the sex robots coming out. Just wait, everybody. It's coming. The sex robots are on their way. You know, the porn industry was the early adopter to the Internet. You know, I mean, the first industry that was making billions of dollars on the Internet while nobody else even knew what to do with the Internet yet was porn. I mean, they were making billions of dollars instantaneously. Well, you know, they're the early adopters of the first technologies, and, you know, the sex robots are coming. They're coming to sex you. They are.
Yes.
They're on the way. I'm telling you. And I did want to just just mention, because we don't have a show tomorrow. Sharona's Magic Universe is every other Sunday, so I do want to mention her next upcoming show, which is Sunday, July 26th. You know, right after the robots and the sex robots coming.
Sex robots.
I told you we're already having fun with this. The Sharona Rapsick will be on with Magic Universe, and she's going to be talking about Angel Reiki. All about Angel Reiki. She's actually the creator or creatrix of Angel Reiki. And she'll be taking your calls, of course, and doing mini readings on the show as well. But she's going to tell you all about how she was a Reiki master for decades and decades and decades. And then how she combined that with the angels and the angel rays. And it's a fascinating thing. And she actually has a course on this. And she'll tell you about that too. You actually get 2 certifications. One in traditional, how do you pronounce it? The Usui Reiki, and then you get a second certificate in Angel Reiki. It's really cool. You got to check it out. Yep. So tune in next Sunday. So that's what's coming up on the network, folks. Okay. So let me check the caller lines. They're starting to fill up now. Folks, if you want to get in, this is when you want to get in. And if you get in right now at 714-816-4628, we will probably have time to take your call. So get in right now. And while you're dialing in, just real quick, because people want to know, I like to do the card of the day. I got the King of Swords. The King of Swords is rational, clear-minded, cautious. Sometimes represents the law, arbitration. He's very analytical. He seeks the deep truth. He's inner authority. He's decisive and discerning, intellectual, honest, all about the principles, and he's impartial and unemotional in his decisions. Swords are thoughts and ideas. He's got that single broadsword that he's holding there. He's focused on the one thing. Now, the numerology of the day, the entire day, and these correlate nicely. The entire date is 7/18/2020. If you add that up, you get 20. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 is relationships and cooperation between people and communication between people and partnerships in business and on projects and things like that. The day is the 18th. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 is completion, and it's the number, and this is the important part, it's the number of the philanthropist, of not thinking of yourself and wanting to help other people. So as we tie all this together, today is the day to work on your relationships, and it could be a partnership. It doesn't have to be it could be an interpersonal relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a partnership. You're working on a project or in business or something along those lines. And look at how you communicate with them, and in your as you go through the day, and look for opportunities to help. Totally without thought of yourself. Just give. Okay. And then the other thing is we're going to tie in the King of Swords. So today, as you're doing that, remember the King of Swords. Usually we say lead with the heart, but in this case, relationships and interpersonal relationships especially, and communication and things, it gets very emotional. And the King of Swords is here to say, look at it analytically. Go at it with your mind wide open and think through these things. Okay, so that's the card of the day, and that I got anyway, and the numerology of the day. Did you do a card of the day, Mary?
I did, and I do a card of the day every day and post it on our Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. So if you haven't joined that, you want to join our Psychic Talk Facebook group for the radio shows, where you can get all kinds of cool, interesting posts there by our different hosts, and I post a card of the day. The card of the day today is from the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck by Bernadette King, and I got the cricket card. And so I know a lot of people are seeing crickets, encountering crickets. They have cricket experiences, and sometimes we wonder, what does that mean, right? And so when an animal, we encounter one, whether in real life or a dream, that's often like a spirit animal. And so when cricket jumps into your life, it's a good sign. They're lucky. It's a sign that, it's time to create your own luck. And if you're somebody who you love crickets, sometimes we just feel an affinity for a certain animal, and maybe we get like cricket, pajamas or, cricket coasters for our coffee cups. We start collecting things with that emblem on them, and that's how totem animals work. And cricket as a totem animal, it's for people who are confident, kind of making their own music, humming their own tune, singing their soul song. And, I do love crickets. I think that they're, I think of Jiminy Cricket. And when, Jiminy Cricket is a great example of another aspect of crickets, because Jiminy Cricket reminded us to lead with our conscience. And crickets have those really long antennas. They're very discerning. They're very sensitive. They're intuitive, just like we have those higher senses as well. Cricket can remind us to, pay attention to them. And to also, when we make choices, to, be discerning, look at all the facts, kind of like your King of Swords. So cricket is the card of the day, and, keep it in mind, if you encounter a cricket today, that this is your chance to, bring some good luck into your life.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Exactly. Dragnet.
So we're we're going to go to calls now, and but I did want to mention that Charlotte said in the chat room, Mary, I got my Karen K mermaid deck. Thanks for the heads up about it. So
awesome. Congrats.
But
I'm trying
there
to
you
ruin
go.
her life.
You're trying to ruin her life. Oh, and she had a comment about that when we were talking about, the going to multiple psychics, things like that. Charlotte said, is that why my life is in the gutter? Too many calls to Psychic Talk Radio.
Yes, we've been telling you what to do, and you've been following it. Now you're screwed.
Yeah. Charlotte also says, I love the artwork and her representation of all the skin color, body shape, male and female. I think Charlotte's getting ready for the sex spot. I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
anyway.
It sounds like it. Were you talking about the deck or about the sex robots? Charlotte.
I think she meant the deck, but you know where my mind goes, right to the gutter. Okay, who's been waiting the longest out there? Looks like I want to say. Okay, so it's area code 630 has been waiting the longest. Caller, are you there? What's your name? Where are you calling from? They're rushing back to their phone. Hang on, folks. Area code 630. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, this is
Okay.
Jack.
Okay.
Hi.
Are you on a speakerphone? Can you get off the speakerphone because
I went off the speakerphone. Can you hear me now?
Oh, good.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's on radio, and let me just say this for everybody that's in the caller too, to make sure you take yourself off speakerphone, if you're just listening right now, because it just does not sound right on radio.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Excuse me.
So what's your name, hon? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Lisa. I've called before from the Midwest. So I've been seriously looking again for about a month and a half now for my dream condo. I'm hoping to move to a certain neighborhood. Yeah, my dream condo, not dream townhouse, and to a certain neighborhood. And there's 4 buildings. I did check it out for a year and a half, and it's a former neighborhood where I grew up, and I absolutely know it's the right move for me. I just wonder, do you see something? I'm not going to just move into something that I have to fix up. Do you see something that's, pretty fixed up, that's really nice in my range, that allows the dogs and cats to be coming up in the next, months this year? Because then I'm going to buy first and then sell where I'm at.
Well, I'm kind of getting a mixed bag. It's I'm getting 3 yes out of 5. It's leaning yes. You should be able to find it, but when I get a muddled answer like this, it means that there's something left to be done. And yeah, there are a couple of properties that you could look at that there's kind of some hidden issues with, and so that's the thing. You got to be really, really careful. You got to really do your research and everything like that.
Well, do you see that happening in the next few months? I mean, I'm not talking right this minute. The next few months. I mean, I'm hoping.
Oh no!
By the end of this year, that I'm going to find something.
Yeah, it could happen within a month. How quickly it happens is more up to you, and kind of. Just really narrowing in on exactly what you want and, just visualizing that and manifesting it for yourself, bringing it in. You can either let life happen to you, or you can take these techniques and actually work on it proactive. How quickly things happen.
But I can't make it. But I can't make the building have a unit come on the market. It's going to be a matter of serendipity, of chance, of the right timing. That's just going to happen with God's will. You know what I mean? I think in the next few months something should come up. But I mean, I can, whatever. I visualize it, but.
Yeah, you would be surprised. You're actually kind of 180 degrees backwards from how the universe actually works. we have the ability to do this. We can manifest what we want to attract in. It may not be the exact property that you're particularly looking at. Let's say you go and an agent takes you to 3 different locations, and you like one, and you want to buy that one. It's on the market, but it falls through or something else happens, or like that. It might not be the exact one you're looking at, but if you leave it open enough, the universe will give you that or something better. And the whole idea is that what people do is they do what we call shotgun approach. Typically, I'm talking to folks that call in and they're looking for the next job, and they've sent out 150 resumes. That's not how the universe works. You focus in on one thing you want and the exact details of how you want it to be, and then let the universe bring it in. And that's what most people don't do.
But I can't make someone, put it on the market. There might be an elderly person that's going to do it in September.
They're going to do it when they. Yeah. What I'm saying is that if you listen to my advice, if you follow this, you're going to be shocked, because the cards are saying it's going to happen in a month, anywhere from 1 week to 4 weeks. Super fast. It's not going to be September. It's going to happen
so
super
call it
fast.
in. You're saying call it in. Visualize
call it into the
universe.
Exactly what you want. Get really specific. Take a piece of paper out. Start writing down everything you want. I want it in this neighborhood. I want it to be green. I want it to have an open floor plan. I want it to have this kind of patio. Every single little detail you can possibly do, and focus on that. People don't focus on that. Instead, they just hope that something happens. They call into the psychic, am I going to get a house? And the psychic goes, oh, yeah, in September you're going to get. Any person, psychic or tarot reader or not, can predict you're going to get something in September or October, because that's when the houses come on the market. That's when the new cars come in on the market. Am I going to get a new car for the 2021 car year? Well, yes, you are, and it's going to be in September, at the end of September. Well, hello, cars are released. The 2021 car year is released in September of 2020. This is not rocket science, people. Okay, so rather than asking, and we're going to go to Mary and see what she has to say. She might have some leads for you, but I
understand what you're saying, Dax. I understand. I'll do that. Just have a bit more of a laser focus and say,
you got to have more of a laser focus.
Soon.
Some people are too shotgun about this, where they try, throw everything at the wall, hope something sticks. That's not how the universe works. The law of attraction works because you get so laser focused that you come in resonant vibration with what you're trying to attract in, and then something suddenly will happen that didn't happen before.
And it could make someone want to put it on the market earlier, like you could be influencing them. Like, I know what you mean, like the vibes. Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I think I'll just
absolutely.
I'll do that more.
So that's what I was getting at with that. And it's great advice for everybody else out there listening. Mary, what are you getting?
Well, I'm getting a yes. You're going to find something. Okay? I feel like you guys kind of like really, kind of covered all the bases there. One thing that I find peculiar or a bit unusual about the cards that I draw, and I drew 5 cards. The central focus card is the full card. So, I can at any time, and there is a surprise element as well to it. The unexpected occurs, and that's great. The 7 of Wands, I feel like it's saying, like, stand by what you want. Don't settle for less, okay?
Yeah.
But 3 out of 5 cards are pointing to a particular time frame, and it may not be a time frame that you're thrilled about. The time frame is October. Okay, and I'm going by, the Golden Rule timing associations with these three cards, and that gives us a full time frame of September 12th up to November 2nd. So, and this shows like a lot of activity happening. So I feel like what we're saying with this would be more like when we actually can take ownership, when we can actually like move in, when the move can actually occur. And so, I feel that you are going to be moved into your place before November 2nd based on this.
Wow.
But there's some real period of activity happening, especially in October. So, maybe the process starts earlier. Maybe it can happen at any time with the
That's a good time frame. That's a very good time frame. I mean, with COVID, it's like, it's hard to sell too.
Mm.
And I'm just gonna I'm gonna move and then like leave my furniture. Like no one can steal my furniture, but I'm gonna take out the small pieces because I inherited some things. My parents died, and I'll take the smaller things with me and then leave the big pieces and stage it. And then just move out the boxes. So it's like it won't be that complicated. But I just hope my place I hope my place will sell well because I want to get, I want to make a good amount of money on this. And I'm just a little concerned.
Yeah.
My neighborhood has not gone up this building as much as I wanted. I've been here a few years and I feel, I'm not going to lose money, but I'm not going to make a big profit. But I hope I can maybe call it in. I'd like to get the high end. It's a really nice unit.
Well, I would definitely, be working with the law of attraction for that too, right, Dax? The selling and stuff. I think that could be a good.
I mean, you don't. You have to visualize, all sections of what's going on, and as a whole. So you don't just visualize the house you want to acquire, you also visualize that you're getting handed that check for 10% more than what you were asking for, or something like that.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Because there are a lot of people. They're gonna try to lowball you, and I'm not gonna give it away. Why should I?
Yeah.
It's a really nice place, and I care for it. So nice.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I appreciate
Thanks
that
for the
so
call,
much.
Lisa.
I really appreciate it. I'm going to stay on and listen and really have a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Oh, you too.
Awesome
Thanks for calling.
Awesome sauce. Bye, Lisa. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Oh, I did want to mention, Mary, where some of that was coming from was the central focus card that I pulled for Lisa was the oh God, now my mind blanked. The Ten of Wands, the typical card of overburdened, and I feel like one of the big problems that people have is they focus too much on the lack, and also with the Ten of Wands, another aspect to that is having too many rods in the fire. Too much going on. Too many choices, too many. That's why I was talking to her about narrowing the focus down. And so I just wanted to make that a little bit more clear where this was coming from. It was coming from the cards, and I was
cool though. But what's really cool about that too, though, is one of the things I associate with the Ten of Wands, because you see him carrying all these wands, is moving things from place to place.
Mhm. Mhm.
So to me, it's kind of that's the other level. It's it's saying this is going to happen, but maybe we need to, narrow it down, like you're saying.
Also, it's an indicator. Just visually, you look at it in the background in the Waite Smith version of the card is the little homestead, and he's carrying this bundle of things to the homestead. That could be representing a move, that it's actually going to be happening. Totally. But I did want to explain one more thing.
That was the perfect card in a way.
Yeah, and we'll take another phone call here, but I don't want to leave it there because I don't want people in the audience to be confused about this, okay? because Lisa kept going back about, well, I can't make somebody put their house on the market. Now, that's true if you're talking about if you're talking about a specific house, you know, like I'm looking out my window right now at a house across the street, I can't make that person put that house on the market simply because I will it to be so. That's not what I'm talking about here. Let me explain this real quickly. What I am saying is if you get narrowly focused on not a specific house, but so specific it could be, you know, where you're getting every detail that you want down on that piece of paper and reading it to yourself every day when you wake up in the morning, every night before you go to sleep, when you're going into that theta state. What the universe does is it doesn't make someone put their house on the market. It connects you with, the universe will connect you with someone that has put their house on the market. See, people are putting their houses on the market all the time. Things happen. People pass away unexpectedly and they have to sell the house real quick. It happens every week. Okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I'm not saying, Lisa, get narrowly focused on this and the universe is going to make someone put a house on the market. No. The universe, if you put in the order, the universe is going to put people, places, and things in your path that will lead you to a connection to someone that has put their house on the market. Yeah. I just wanted to clear that up, you know, because I don't want anybody that, you know, it's the first time listening to the show, they haven't listened to all the thousands of shows that we've done on the law of attraction, thinking that I'm putting out there that, oh, yes, you can do magic and you can make people do things. That's not what we're saying. It's not how the universe works, not how the law of attraction works. Yeah. So I just wanted to clear that all up. Mm-hmm. And let's see who's been waiting the longest here. It looks like area code 720. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Randy, and I'm calling from Colorado.
Oh, wow, we haven't had a Colorado. Yeah, we haven't won those calls in a while. How is it in Colorado?
It's hot.
Right. But you have the mountains you can escape to, right?
Yeah.
Colorado. I was born in Colorado. Isn't that weird?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
Aurora. Oh, Aurora. Okay. I'm in Boulder County.
I go up to the Spanish Peaks now and then too. I have a friend up there with a cabin. It's beautiful country. So what do you want to talk about today besides Colorado? Okay. I love talking about Colorado.
So I am.
We can do that all day.
Feel like I do look to psychics, which I shouldn't have. I should really trust myself. But unfortunately, I got a little addicted, and so my husband and I were looking into an online business, and we're like learning how to do it. And we were really into this one company. They charge some money to like learn how to get an online business, and so then then I'm like, oh, should we invest? We should not invest. And I felt good about it because I was getting some like synchronicities. And then I called the psychic, and they're like, don't do it. I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. You'll ruin your life.
Well, it would be an investment. And, like, I don't know, like, if I should invest, like, if I'm ready to invest. But, I mean, then there's two platforms that I'm looking into. So maybe not that platform, maybe another platform. But, like, I feel like an online business would be good. I feel like, I don't know. But, tell me.
Especially now, right? But, Dax, come on, you're the online business guru.
We need to clarify this a little bit with how we can ask the tarot the correct question that's going to get you the most information. And so just to be clear, even though the psychic said don't do it, you're still thinking of doing it. And so you want to inquire about it. And there's these two different possibilities. So rather than just, should you invest in general, can we break it up where we ask, we'll pull cards on each one, And
each of these ones you're looking at, the 2 platforms.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some way we have to clarify, what is A and what is B, and how do you want to do that, Randy? You can either, give us initials of the company, or you can just think in your mind, this is opportunity A, this is opportunity B. Any way you want to do it.
SFM is the first company, and the second company is the Freedom Era.
Okay, I didn't catch the first one. Can you say it again?
Oh, SFM, 6 figures.
Okay.
SFM. And the other is the
what?
Freedom Era.
Yes.
The Freedom. What? I'm not getting this.
Era.
The Freedom what?
ERA. Error?
Okay, yeah.
Era?
Yeah, like a time frame. Yeah, era. Right? So Freedom
Oh,
Era
an era.
versus SSM.
Okay.
Yes.
Or era. Yes, there we go.
An era.
So
that makes it.
Yeah, different.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll tell you what. I do a comparison spread. I'm just going to compare the two and see what I get on both of them. In both of them, who knows? Okay. So, comparing which would be in your best interest, which is better for you, right? Freedom Era, it's the second one. SSM, Freedom Era. Okay, let me just see. SSM. Freedom Era. Freedom Era. Freedom Era. Okay, Freedom Era looks better to me. SSM looks good in the beginning. Do I?
That's what we were thinking.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Well, and look, so great, but we'll see what Dax gets and stuff. The one thing that I get about the SSM is that it starts out okay, and then we wind up feeling disappointed. We feel kind of let down. When we look at the Freedom Era, it's like there's this sense of harmony, positive changes, and having a new chapter in our life start. So to me, the Freedom Era one looks more in your best interest than the other one. But Dax, what are you getting?
Oh, it could really go either way. I'm kind of in alignment with what you say, Mary. This is the thing. So the SSM starts out with the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, you cannot get a better card. It starts out good, but then towards the end it's slow going. You'll get there, but it's slow. The thing with the other one, the Era one, okay, is that it's really rough going in the beginning. I mean, there's competition. There is you're trying to figure out how to put this together, and it's difficult. And but you end up with the 10 of Cups. I mean, you end up in a really good spot. So I agree with Mary about the fact that looking at it that way, the Era one is ultimately better, okay, but it starts off really rough. Whereas the other one starts off a lot easier, and it's slow going, but you get there, you see. So, which one do you want to do? That's where you come in and make the decision, you see.
Yes.
Yeah.
But overall, if I stick with it, if we set our goals, and eventually it will be good. It will be a good end to the story, correct? If we really yes?
Yeah, I think it will be a good end to the story, and that's the thing, the sticking with it. Anybody, even if, I think that there's this sort of idea out there that if you start a business online, that somehow it's going to be much easier and just boom, we're off to the races because we're on the internet with billions of people, and it doesn't go that way. You have to work just as hard doing that as you would opening up a brick and mortar. So that's something to keep in mind as you and your partner discussing, what level of commitment can you make to this, and are you willing to make and set goals for that? It's okay, I'm not going to expect this to take off running in the first 90 days. Maybe we can say, okay, we'll give it 2 years, or just you guys work it out, because the central card I got on the Freedom Arrow one is the 2 of Cups. So it's like you guys got to make sure you're on the same page to make it work.
Okay.
Also, some specific information I'm getting is, you remember in the beginning I said that there's a lot of cards about competition, squabbling, about difficulty putting it together and creating it in the first place, kind of thing. So one thing is that, and it might be the thing you really want to focus on beyond the nuts and bolts of running it, is the competition. That there's going to be a lot of competition, and that what's essential is that you stand out from your competition. That you have to be different in some way.
Yeah.
And not knowing the specifics of the business, I'm not getting specific things here, but that's a really great, informative clue coming from the tarot, that you got to find, and not just the typical ways of standing out, but really think outside the box. You and your husband think of, how can we do this better and different than everybody else is doing, and really stand out from the crowd. Because that's what you have to do on the internet nowadays. It's not really the number of Facebook ads you put out, or the AdSense, or things like that. What it really is standing out as, head and shoulders above the rest. You're so much better, The example I always use is Tesla. Other major manufacturers that are really, really great are trying to come out with their EVs now, their electric vehicles. They are 5 to 7 years behind Tesla. Tesla is so head and shoulders above, and they're going to come out with their own batteries now that are going to totally change the entire market. Everything within the next few years is going to go electric, 100%. And you're going to find big, giant corporations like GM shutting their doors, and hundreds of thousands of people going out, losing work, actually.
Wow.
And now that I've really taken the crowd down, but that's the thing. They're doing it completely differently. They don't outsource. They do everything vertical. It's a vertical corporation, and they stand head and shoulders above everybody else. VW is a car manufacturer. So is Toyota. So is Ford, GM. Porsche. They're all car manufacturers. They're all great. I mean, they all have the same technology, more or less, as far as construction of vehicles and applying the proper paint. The details. But Tesla is able to stand head and shoulders above them, even though they just came in, and they only just came into the market. That's the other big takeaway, is that it doesn't matter that there's a gazillion people out there doing online. It's because, you got car manufacturers that have been in business for 150 years, and here comes along Tesla, and in 5 years they are the best vehicle on the market, bar none, head and shoulders way above every other manufacturer you can think of. So even people that leaned into hybrid and electric like Toyota are not even close. They're 5 years behind. So that's what you and your husband need to do. You need to go, okay, and think way outside the box. Whatever material you get with this company and how you're supposed to set things up and everything like that is all great. But then sit back and go, take a deep breath and go, all right, how do we do this better, bigger?
Yeah. and allow yourself to be inspired and to not lose that inspiration. And get the Page of Wands was the final card that I got, and I just feel like don't let that slip away, Don't let that slip away. Keep that energy going, because you look at Tesla, you look at like Elon Musk, somebody like that, and you're like, okay, this is somebody who doesn't lose their sense of inspiration. They take it in weird directions for sure, but they don't lose that spark of inspiration.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. This is really good advice.
Great call, Randy.
Yeah, thank you for calling. Have a great weekend in Colorado.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
And you got to call us back and tell us how that's going for you there. Oh, my God. Yeah, and it's innovation. Cars are cars. Elon innovates and how can we make this even better? Oh, we can make the entire roof glass. It's like, why haven't other manufacturers thought of this? It's because they get in a rut. They've always done it the same way. So you have to innovate. Yeah. That's what Randy and her husband should be doing, is innovating there, And I don't know if you heard about that. I mean, I just watched a whole documentary last night about, you're going to be shocked. And not 25 years from now, what's going to happen in the next 5 years in the automotive industry, once this catches on a little more. So, wow,
I just
fantastic.
want a hovercraft. That's all I want is a hovercraft. Get me to the hovercraft.
Oh, they're working on those
stage.
too. They're working on them. There's a concept car that flies, actually, from one of the major manufacturers. Actually, it's not
That's what I need.
It's not a kit thing. Yeah. So, do we have time for another call, or should we?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want
to
do
it? Who's out there?
Who's out there? And if we don't get to your call today, remember you can call in on Wednesday on Catherine's show. I'll be back on Friday with Dr. Rose. I'll be back with Mary. Will be back on Saturday, and I'll be with her.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't wait for next Saturday because I love Psychic Spin.
It's gonna be fun.
And the sex bots are taking over the world.
You and your sex bots.
I love it. Oh, God. Oh, so we're going to area code 917 is the last caller. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Lisa, and I'm calling from the city of New York. How are you today?
New York.
Lisa.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's like 90 degrees here.
Ooh. In New York, that you got the humidity too, though, right? Mm.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's not too bad. But it's just very hot out.
Now we got the hot going. So, what do we want to? What do you want to talk about today? What do you want us to take a look at?
A move. That's what I'm looking to do. And I'm hoping, I can't say as soon as possible, but hopefully before fall would be
before
a good
fall,
idea.
you'd like to move. Okay.
Yeah, between September, October, no later.
Right.
I have the money ready, so I'm just waiting.
That's always
to
good.
Find something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dax, I think it's your turn to go first.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it now. It's definitely leaning towards you could do it. I'm getting like 3 yeses. It's not a strong yes. It just means, maybe you don't have all the ducks in the row, like how you're supposed to have it.
You're right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The 2 of Wands is suggesting more research, but you do have the world in the palm of your hands. I mean, because if you got the money, hey, you're ready. You're ready.
You know what I'm
yes.
thinking? Yes. You know what I'm thinking? Do I need to get a second job to show another source of income? Or because I know I'm going to do a second job. So because with the whole COVID-19 thing, pandemic going on, I wanted to do a second job, but it's like people are hiring but sporadically. So it's, but I can my salary I can do it off, but I just thought because in the area where I'm moving to, I just want to be able to show the landlord that I'm able to pay the rent. That's the bottom line.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna pull cards on that too. But first, I want to give you the timing. I'm getting 6 weeks. This can happen as quick as 6 weeks. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of information, and it's a major arcana card. It's card number 6. It's the Lover's card. And this is a card.
I got that too.
Yes, and this is a card about choices. I mean, in romance readings, it could be about love and relationships, things like that. But in this, it's more about maintaining the optimism, trusting, and there's a little bit about balance and harmony. But the original, going way back, what people that did divination using cards, they originally it was more about choice and making the right decision and making the right choice. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that may be part of why I got this first thing about, why I didn't get a strong yes. I got a leaning yes, you're going to be able to make it, and if you do, it's going to be it could be as quick as 6 weeks. It could be as long as 6 months, but I'm feeling it's more like 6 weeks. It's fast, but it's all because you get on the ball about this. But I had this sinking feeling like there was more research to be done. So, like when you're looking at moving somewhere, and there's more than one choice involved, be really careful. Really look those properties over so you make the right choice. And I'm getting a very strong yes on it would be beneficial for you to get additional sources of income right now. It's going to stabilize the whole situation. You want to listen to your gut instinct on this. I'm getting cards talking about, intuition, psychic ability, really tuning in to what is right for you as far as this additional stream of income. And I keep saying additional stream of income rather than part-time job. Not that the part-time job can't be a second stream of income, but don't block out any other possibilities, because there's other ways you can make money. There's other things that you can do. Like Randy that just called in, her and her husband starting a little online gig. You could find a nice online gig. You could find a something like doing. I don't know if you drive, but you could do ride share. You could do delivery, something on the side that makes a lot of money, but it doesn't take up a lot of your time. So it won't interfere. You won't feel overburdened doing your current job. You just add this side gig on the weekends or, whenever your days off or hours during the day off, are. And, there's package delivery for Amazon. There's food delivery. There's, Uber, Lyft. There are so many side gigs that you could do that make a lot of money in a short amount of time per week. And so, try to think outside the box, not just going down to, the first place you see that has a help wanted sign. And let's see what Mary's got.
All right.
What do you got, Mary?
I see.
Focus a little bit more. I feel like the move's going to happen, anyway. But I focused more on this idea of, getting a second job, and the central focus card I got was the 4 wands. So yeah, it's about, showing stability and creating stability too. And in a way that is going to, make you happy, not feel overburdened. Okay. I got the lovers card as well too. What's funny is the 7 of Cups came up in the past position. So I feel like, okay, forget all this indecision stuff. Let's stop being confused. Let's come up with a plan, focus on it, and put it into action. that it's time to decide now that even though, you're not planning on moving tomorrow, maybe start thinking like, okay, get into that state of preparation. What is left to do before I'm really ready to leave where I'm at now? And what do I want to have waiting for me when I do move? So get on the phone. We've got the Page of Swords. It's like start, making contacts, coming up with a plan, getting that laser sharp focus on like, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to do it. And the Justice card comes out, at the bottom is saying like underlying everything, we've got to keep everything in balance. We've got to make choices that are going to maintain that sense of stability and balance for ourselves. Afraid of new things either. Kind of like what Dax was talking about all the different ways in which you can, add an additional income stream. I think this is going to happen for you, and I do think, taking on some more work is going to be actually a really good thing, and and it's not going to be just about what other people think. It's not going to be just about like, oh, okay, well, she clearly, has a source of income, that kind of thing. I feel like with the Four of Wands and Lover's card both, it's saying like, it's got to impact you on the heart level too, something you look forward to, something you want to be doing.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, and you've got to call us back and let us know, how this all goes for you and what you end up deciding to do, because I think there's more going on here than just, moving from one place to the other. I think this is like something that's, it's like doing something good for yourself to actually make this move.
Yes. You are right. Yep. I agree, guys. I totally agree. Okay,
well, thanks so much for calling.
For your help. All right, I'm all over it.
Bye, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
have a great weekend.
Another awesome one. I got that weird intuition, too, from that, Mary. Like there was more going on here than just moving.
Yeah.
And it's kind of why I wanted her to think outside of the box a little bit, about additional streams of income, because I almost feel that once the move is completely done, that I have the strong feeling that Lisa won't be doing what she's doing now. That one or more of those multiple streams of income are going to be more attractive to her, and she's actually going to be doing, and that's what she's supposed to be doing, not what she's doing now.
Yeah.
I don't know why because it wasn't in the cards or anything. It was just an intuition that I'm getting. So I can't wait to hear back on that. Awesome sauce.
Exciting.
Awesome
I'm excited
sauce.
for it.
Yes. So we'll be back next Saturday. I can't wait for that.
With your
our robots
robot.
taking over the wall. Yes. And are they taking over the world? I think it's a foregone. I think it's a foregone conclusion that we're going in the direction of, the robot thing. It's just to what extent are they going to be in our lives? How quickly is this going to happen? Will we end up in a T2 moment? Terminator.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's got to be. I don't know. It's like
back.
These. I'll be back. These are all questions that we can now ask the tarot, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
See if our future is robotic.
Yes, and I want to thank all our listeners and callers. We don't have a show without you. And you, Mary, thanks for being here every Saturday.
Thank you, Jax, for being here every Saturday as well. And thank everybody in the chat room for playing along.
Yep. It was fun, very fun. And I'll be back next Friday also with Dr. Rose. Next time I'll be on air, and we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Mary.